Hi, Nicola. Congratulations on making it to the Peaks Emerging Leaders list for 2026 under the entrepreneurship category. How does it feel to be recognized in this way?
Uh, it's such an honor to receive that sort of recognition. You're right, I was recognized in the entrepreneurship category, which is a little bit of a funny experience for me. My millennial brain still sort of associates the idea of entrepreneurship with like the early tech boom and startup culture. And Issues is kind of the antithesis of that. We're a space dedicated to physical media and bricks and mortar retail. So seeing ourselves recognized in a category along lots of really incredible sort of AI innovation and tech initiatives is pretty cool.
Absolutely. So you're an award-winning designer and art director, and you've been in this industry for 15 years. So what drew you to design?
Ah, um, I just love that design, specifically editorial design, like really lets me dive into topics that I maybe had not considered before. Every project is like such a deep collaboration between writers, editors, photographers, illustrators, and designers. And so you just get to learn so much on every project.
Absolutely. So when you're looking back at your career, what were some of the most transformative projects?
Hmm. Probably my first job. My very first full-time job out of design school was at a publication called The Grid here in Toronto, and it kind of set the tone for my entire career. It built like a lot of the foundation for my professional beliefs today. Um, the senior leadership team there like really built this environment that promoted risk taking and idea sharing and experimentation. Its sort of editorial mandate was like really rooted in exploring the team's own curiosities about the city. And there I got to work with the most talented group of people, including the wonderful Vanessa Wise, who designed a publication that would go on to be named the world's best design newspaper for 3 consecutive years. She became my longtime mentor, a very good friend, and taught me pretty much everything I know about magazine design. But from that experience at the Grid, I think the things I really took away from it, or that like really sort of transformed my thinking about my professional life or my career, was that the best ideas can come from anyone on the team. Like it doesn't matter how senior or junior they are. That collaboration between art and editorial is like really, really important for really good editorial products. And that work can be both like really rigorous, but also really silly at the same time. Like you're allowed to have fun in the work that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So your shop is in downtown Toronto, and today Canada is playing its first match in the FIFA World Cup
Yeah.
soccer. What's the vibe like over there?
The vibe is there's lots of energy. I biked through a big old crowd of Canada fans in the park this morning who I assume were gearing up to walk down to the pitch themselves. So lots of jerseys floating around, lots of sort of national pride, both for Canada and for other folks' countries that they're rooting for around. And I think in Canada, there's so many people that are rooting for two teams, right? They're like rooting for
Yeah,
Canada, this place that they live, but they're rooting for the place that they came from as well. And
absolutely.
so that's been really cool to see. Like all the cars kind of have two flags on them right now.
Yeah, it's hot. It's really hot today, but I think everybody, is dying to see the match.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely sweaty out there.
I can sense that. Yes. So one of the other things that I want to talk to you about is AI. This
Yeah.
AI is being increasingly used in all walks of life, in all fields and professions. Now, what do you see is AI's role in graphic design?
Ooh. Okay, I'm really skeptical of the like, I guess, current narrative that AI can replace human intelligence or creativity. I think we're in the midst of a really, really good hype campaign where I think AI companies, the technology sector, are really sort of hyping up the potential of this. But I think in time that hype is going to die down. I think the dust will settle, and I think we'll find like really mundane uses for AI to like augment our existing work.
That's right. Are you concerned at all about how AI is increasingly being used for design?
Yeah, of course. I think every industry is concerned about how AI is going to like shape the next decade. Um, I think, mostly the speed at which these organizations are like employing AI tools, that's the thing that I think I'm most scared of right now. Um, that they're sort of pushing employees to use the tools without really helping them understand like the murkiness of the ethics or the like desired outcome, like what they're actually hoping to get out of using them. And so I think that makes it really frightening for everyone, creatives and otherwise. Um, and I think the thing that sort of makes me feel a little bit better about it is that AI can only replicate what has already existed. It can't dream up new ideas.
That's true. Absolutely, yes. So in 2022, you opened a store for magazines. What prompted you to do it?
So I'm an editorial designer. Making magazines has been sort of the through thread of my entire career. I spent a lot of time sort of seeking out interesting and experimental magazine projects. And there are just some like really incredible shops around the world who carry all of those titles. And I really wanted Toronto, or I guess Canada, to have one of those. And in 2021, when I really started sort of thinking about the idea, a few key pieces sort of fell into place that let me explore it and eventually make it a reality.
That's amazing. So for people who haven't visited the shop, can you please
Yeah.
describe Issues magazine shop for us?
Yeah. So we're a bricks and mortar magazine shop. We're on Dundas West in Toronto. Our space is pretty small, but it's been very, very lovingly designed by Company, who built us some really incredible custom fixtures, custom bookshelves. So the walls are lined with shelves. The sort of visual centerpiece of the shop is this big blue table that's usually covered in magazines. Sometimes we clear it all off to host workshops or magazine launch parties or like other fun collaborations. But you're walking into like a little bit of a printed clubhouse, if you will.
I love that. I love that definition. So how do you determine the magazines you'd like to sell in your shop? What is the criteria?
I wish I had like a real answer for that question, and we get asked it all the time. But the truth is, it's a little bit on vibes. Um, the criteria is pretty fluid. We are always looking for things that have like a unique point of view. They need to have like really strong editorial, really high production value. So like the physical object is really important to us. And then they should be well designed. And if you can sort of like hit a bunch of those, then you fit in issues.
That's great. So, can you give me some names, some of the names of the magazines that you carry?
Yeah, I mean, we have like 700 titles on our roster. There's probably only sort of 300 in the shop at a time. Right now, we're really excited about the new issue of Mother Tongue. We're really excited about the new issue of Footnote, only the second. We just got a delivery of Steak Zine, which is Cake Zine's little foray away from baking for a minute. And then we also do a lot to support our sort of locally made, Canadian made titles. So the second issue of Hiatus just got here. We're waiting for a new issue of Darby to land. The new issue of Serviette selling well. We're waiting for a new issue of Feels.
Great. Well, now, what has the reception been like, Nicola?
Ooh, I joke that this has been like the easiest project of my career, and it's probably not far from the truth. The sort of like community that has popped up around issues has been like beyond my wildest dreams. It's been so, so incredible. And people are buying magazines. They're coming to visit us. They're buying magazines to be shipped to them wherever they are in the country or globally. The reception has been incredible.
Lovely to hear that. What makes you so optimistic about print?
I think that print has persisted through the decades already. So countless technological revolutions have happened, and print has continued to exist. I think magazines are made for and by people, and I think those are only going to become more important as we move towards like more algorithmic, more generated, these like more digital landscapes. I think as humans, we're like pre-programmed to seek out or prioritize real life experiences, and I think magazines deliver that.
That's true. So, what trends do you think will define the next decade of print and design?
I think it's the same ones that have always defined print and design. Um, I think I think it's about good quality communication. Like ultimately, design and printed publications are all about telling stories and talking to people. I think tactile experiences are only going to become more important as the pendulum swings away from digital. And I think the sort of like ownership of a beautiful object is going to continue to be important.
Yeah, I've noticed that people love to hold on to beautifully printed pieces, and the more we get creative about designing and producing high quality printed work, the more people are going to buy them.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. But there is a challenge as well, right? Because indie publishers, it's always tough for them to break even. The market is very competitive and really small. So how can they make profit in such a climate?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing to remember is that most people don't decide to publish a magazine to make a boatload of money. There's usually some other driving factor, whether it's just a love of subject matter or community or a desire to make something physical after years of making something less tangible. The goal is almost always just to break even. And I think most of the sort of folks out there are finding new and interesting ways to do that. I think the quality of your product is really, really important. I think understanding the landscape is really, really important. And I think ultimately the trend right now for independent publishing is moving towards things that come out less frequently. So most of the magazines we carry at Issues aren't coming out more than 4 times a year. Many of them are only coming out once a year, which means you actually have a much longer selling window than traditional magazines have. And so I think that's helping a lot of them.
That's great. So your store has been there for a few years now. What are your
Mhm.
plans for it?
Yeah, we turn 4 next month. So we've been here
Yay.
4 years. We're heading into our 5th year. And I think our goal is just to sort of continue doing what we've been doing. Like that's sort of celebrating the people and projects keeping print alive. There's no massive sort of business goals right now or growth strategy. I just really love being able to deliver these products to our customers. And I really love being able to support the publishers who are making them.
That's wonderful. Nicola, you also are an active member of the Registered Graphic Designers Association, and you were, in fact, its past president. Can you share a little bit about the work you've done for them?
Yeah. So RGD, or the Association of Registered Graphic Designers, is Canada's largest professional body for graphic designers. And I joined their board of directors in 2018 as a way to sort of reconnect and give back to my design community, because ultimately, like magazines is the thing that I spend a lot of time in now, but I sort of come from a background of graphic design. I'm a traditionally trained graphic designer. And RGD is a volunteer powered organization. So all of its initiatives are driven by volunteers. In 2020, I was elected into the role of president, and I spent 6 years advocating for the value of design, helping build community, helping to organize events, the biggest being Design Thinkers, which is also Canada's largest graphic design conference. It happens twice a year, once in the spring in Vancouver, so that just wrapped, and then in the fall in Toronto. And you're right, I wrap my term as president in April, but I am in this role of past president, which is an advisory role, and I'm going to keep volunteering with Design Thinkers and with our diversity and inclusion committee. So I'm staying involved, but that work is really sort of community building and advocacy work.
That's amazing, Nicola. That's great. I don't have any more questions for you. Is there anything that you would like to share, Nicola?
I mean, I think we covered a lot.
We did. We did cover a lot. Well, really thank you then for chatting with me on this sweltering, hot, busy day when no one wants to think about anything other than soccer.
Soccer,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. It was such a nice chat.